go to an angle? Should I go that way?
Yeah, go that way, yeah. Yeah, but once you hit post, don't turn.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, I think I'm gonna get one of those foam things too. Have you seen them? Okay, we're shut down.
And welcome back to Talk Recovery on Vancouver's Co-op Radio, CFRO 100.5 FM. Normally at this point we would be right into our first interview, usually over the phone. But unfortunately our guest had to cancel today, so hopefully we'll have Dr. Edmonds on at another time. Instead, we're going straight into our personal story. We've got Jeff E. in the studio. He's come down to talk about his life, what's happened and how it's changed and how he's become successful. Obviously an admitted addict at some point in your life. How hard was it, to look at that? I mean, you always hear the hardest thing to do is admit that you're an addict. There's a lot of denial that comes into it. Were you aware prior to the change in your life that you had a problem, or was it something that sort of came to light as you got into working on yourself?
It took a while, but I have an older brother that's in recovery, so I was around recovery for a long time, and it just over the years, I remember going to cakes and whatnot, and his cakes, and saying I didn't have a problem, but I knew, I'd go home and use, or and it was it kept going on, and they sort of let me be, and I did my thing, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. And then I went to my first treatment center in 2012, and that's really when recovery started.
It's usually pretty obvious, when you're sitting in a treatment center that there's a problem.
Yes, and I knew sitting at home, I was always by myself, friends gone. I had a good life, on the outside, material objects, items and stuff, but I was locked in my house, for years, and then finally went to treatment. That
isolation, eh? So you said your brother got clean. Have you guys ever talked about why us? What happened? Obviously, it sounds like you come from a family that was there, loving, caring. Do you guys ever kind of consider that? Why are we addicts?
Well, that's a good question, because a great family, great upbringing, lots of stuff. I have 3 older brothers. Okay. So the oldest is an addict. The 2 in the middle are whatever you want to call them.
The middle ones, eh?
The middle ones are the good ones, and then the youngest. So the oldest and the youngest are addicts. And we've talked about it, and I've thought about it a lot. But thinking back to the family history and whatnot, where it comes from, I think my parents and my brothers think about it more than I did. Why did we miss it, and why, and I think my parents struggled with it for quite a while. What did we do wrong? Where did we, but right now it's good. I'm happy. My anonymity is, I'm an addict, and I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's easier to say you're proud of it after getting clean.
Yes.
It's hard sitting in a room all alone, loaded, going, I'm really proud to be an addict.
No.
See, that's what I think that message sometimes gets a little skewed, right? Because, somebody's brand new and they're like, what do you mean you're proud to be an addict? Because I hated myself. You know what I mean? For at the time what I thought I was letting myself do to the people that I loved, and letting myself, give up amazing opportunities in my life. I was never proud of that. And but obviously as a recovering addict myself, I understand. I know what you mean, right? That it's something to be proud of after having been able to feel like you've defeated your addiction in a sense, right? It doesn't control your life today.
No, it doesn't at all. And being able to come in here today, or help a guy out, or, help a guy out in the recovery community, and, that you can relate to, and you can, maybe give some advice, or help out. That's what I'm all about is helping out, and wherever I can help out, I'm there, right? And I don't know, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that I'm not isolating, I'm not locked in my house. I don't have to get removed from my house. You know what I mean? I can open my doors to somebody else and show them that this works.
Yeah.
Because I was so stubborn. Like, I'm smarter than this, I'm better than this, I'm bigger than this, I'm, and it never worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to cope, I think, for any human being to realize and admit that there's something that you cannot control all by yourself, with your own strength, with your own intelligence, with your own upbringing and
money.
and
What I mean?
There's just, I mean, and that's the best lesson I think in life, and I mean, unfortunately, we learned it the worst way possible. I think, right? There's other ways. I think you can run into a wall and go, gee, I can't seem to figure this out on my own. But I mean, that's just the reality in life. I think human beings are sort of, put here to be humbled, if not acquire that belief themselves growing up, but to then become humbled that you should be able to accomplish a lot of things on your own devices by yourself.
Yeah,
but there's going to be some things that require a community, a support, another individual alongside you.
Oh, big time. And it's, to have that, like I said, I grew up, big family, had all that, it's great, but deep down I didn't have that community or that support. I had good friends, but, they were all gone. And today I have that, I call it like a team behind me, and I can rely on them, ask them questions, and use my sponsor. And today I have purpose, and that's huge for me. It's, and I'm content with my life. I'm happy. And who I am today, and when I look in the mirror, that's the Jeff of old. I'm honest and open and willing, and I'm pretty laid back, and I'm having fun. And
are you surprised at who you've become?
I have. It's taken a long time, and I struggled for many years to get back to that, and like lost hobbies and friends and who I was. And I do like people, and I do like talking to people, and I love helping people. And before I'd be like, no way, I'm just going to isolate and hide in my house, and
So getting clean and becoming someone that likes to help people and be around people, like that wasn't something that at some point in your life was part of who you are? Like that, is that a new sort of asset in your life since getting clean?
Yeah, it's the next step, the next level, I would call it. Like growing up, again, good family and friends and whatnot, and now I'm blessed where I'm at in my life, and I'm able to help others, and I know in my mind, in my heart, I can help others. That was a big step for me. Before I'm like, no, I don't think I can, and I don't think they want my help. But today, I can be have some humility and some purpose, and I can, like, hey, you need a hand, or you need something, and guys actually, like making eye contact and listening to somebody, just sitting there listening to the guy, and just hearing him out. Like some guy comes in and, he looks scared and whatnot, and you just ask or open the door for him, or, what's going on? And it's pretty cool feeling.
And, because it's so deep, really, when you say, like, your ability to help someone. It's not like you're not teaching them how to drive a car. You're not trying to help them understand getting a mortgage. Obviously sometimes these things do happen, but it's so much, it's like a thing you can't really describe, isn't it? Like what people need help with and what you're able to help them achieve is this sort of this thing that's lost, that's more than somebody that just can't stop using a cocaine or a heroin or an alcohol. Somewhere in there they've lost the belief that they can live differently, that they can live their life and cope with feelings and cope with life's experiences without having to use something outside themselves, if they hear and get in touch with someone that's also done that. And I mean, it's always been sort of my own personal reason to continue, being in contact with people, helping people, find insight in their lives. Because I don't know. There's a few treatment centers I went to. It's like, look, I just want to know how to live clean, and then I just want to go succeed in life. Like I want to go achieve, and I want to go get mine. You know, like I didn't want to continue to be available and do meetings if that was the part of it. Like, did you ever have that feeling like you were gonna just like, oh, this is working, I'm gonna take this back home and go back to work and things like that?
Oh, big time. The first 2 treatment centers, you go, I wasn't there for myself, and you get clean for 30 days, whatever it was, and then, I'm going home. But then I went again, and it slowly didn't work again, and then, 3rd, 4th time, or whatever it was. This time I worked on the addiction part, but mostly, the human aspect of it, like learning to live, have fun. This recovery thing is fun, and I can live in recovery and be who I am, right? And I don't have to change anything. And it did take a while, but today it's different. It's a good thing today.
Having fun. I mean, that was, I thought, something that you couldn't do without a little bit of substance, right? That's why I was like, sort of an agenda of mine was, going to treatment and learning how to just not use to an addiction level. Just use where the buzz is good, I'm having fun, out enjoying the sunshine, and that's what I could never have known, that there was actually this ability to have that good a time completely abstinent. Right?
Well,
that blew my
that's what
mind.
we learn where I'm at today in life. It's the addiction part of it, but to be able to learn to go out, have fun, have friends. All my friends are in recovery. Either playing hockey or meetings or whatever it is. Right? I'm into motorcycles now, which I never thought I would before. Right? And my life's pretty cool, and I can say I'm an addict, and I'm proud. I'm back to that again, right? I'm proud, right? And yes, I need to work on certain things in my recovery, but who doesn't, right?
Well, how much time have you been in a recovery process?
It's 14 months today, actually.
No kidding.
And
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
14 months, that's just the beginning.
I know.
You're already having these feelings and these thoughts and experiences in that earlier recovery. I mean, I hate to be so cliche, the world's your oyster kind of thing, but that's a big hurdle is that first year from my experience, because it's just things are so weird, like getting to know who you are, and, and all that process and what makes you tick, and hitting all the firsts. Like really, I don't know, I sort of compartmentalize it in the first year of recovery, but what I mean is really it's just all of the firsts, first time experiencing somebody close dying, first time losing a family member, first time getting into a relationship, first time getting out of a relationship, first time having fun, like all of these, first time playing sports, riding a motorbike, whatever it is, they're experiences that, even if you did it in the past, you weren't completely present for.
no,
Right?
no.
And, immature, maybe young at the time and whatnot. And I think, that's the experience, especially, how old were you when you got clean?
Would have been 32.
32. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of experiences prior,
Oh yeah.
32 years in life, right? And I mean,
Well, you mean today? I'm 37. First time I went to treatment was 32.
right.
So I've been in the process
Yeah.
since So 2016, August 5th, 2016. So
Yeah.
I gave her another go. Like a friend told me, it looked like I was dealt a bad deal by the devil. It came in, and I was just miserable. Life's over. You know what I mean? I've given up, right?
Yeah.
And slowly, I gave it another chance. I thought I was done. I was hopeless. There wasn't another chance for me. I've given a lot of chances, and it's.
So we started our show off today where we were talking about the new Watermelon Party and how they're talking about sensible Vancouver and wanting to, just increase more harm reduction services and all that kind of stuff. So I want to talk about your story where you come from the other side of the fence. You've been to a lot of private treatment centers.
I have.
Okay. So you would be given, which some people might call privileged, I guess, where what would your life be like today, Lakin, if you can hypothetically say, if you would have, because you walked with us from the parking stall to get in here and everybody's using on the street. So how do you feel about harm reduction, and how do you feel about if somebody just told you, hey, Jeff, just use safely?
Yeah, it's a tough question because, like, I've come from a good family, and, to flip-flop that, I'm not saying they didn't come from good families, but, private treatment centers and the people outside today, and if I was told to use safely, it wouldn't have worked for me. It's dangerous, but this is for me, right? It's, there's options out there, and I would hope if I was in that situation that, I know my family would be searching for me and trying to help me, but I would hope there was some avenue that I could go to a safe place and then learn to regain my former glory, I guess, my former self.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And go down that route, and these other private centers, they're good and they work for me, but it's I don't know, it's a tough question.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really been asked that before.
Well, that's why I wanted to ask you, because I know your story, and I know you've been to a bunch of treatment centers, and you've been given the ability, and hopefully with some gratitude.
Well, I just to make a point on that, right? Because I think that's the different belief systems, is that there's going to be people that just wander the streets and aren't able to get jobs, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And those people should be able to use safely, because they're not going. I'll tell you what my life would have looked like. You know what I mean? Like, because I was told by an addiction specialist with my dad sitting in the room, just give him a little bit of heroin until he can get to treatment. Go buy some heroin. This is my dad in the room.
Wow.
Right? And so this was, the first time really harm reduction in a way was told by a doctor. And to get to treatment.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Right? And I'm thinking of like, okay, what if a doctor just said for the rest of his life, with my dad sitting in the room, the amount of acceptance and having to deal with his son, my dad, me, living the rest of his life under the influence, buzzed, stoned, whatever word, like nodding off. I'm going to have to be behind the wheel at some point to live a life, I think.
Yeah, if they let you.
Right?
You just,
So I'm just thinking of all the experiences in my life so far since being in recovery. Losing my grandfather, losing a best friend, relationships, falling in love, the birth of my son. Like, that I would have to accept having to deal with and experience while under the influence of some really good, clean heroin that I'm probably not going to OD on.
That you got at Shoppers Drug Mart because now it's legal. It's just,
Sad.
it's
sad.
So here you are. I mean, if you had the options to continue down a street that this watermelon party is really engaging in, would you be using a consumption site not by yourself? Because that was one of the things I'd mentioned to them when I talked to them this morning was, well, addicts like to use by themselves. Like, it's just part of addiction. You can't sensibly, logically solve addiction because it doesn't make any sense. I mean, people spend their rent money on it. People, abandon their children for it. People stop paying out. Like, I mean, how do you fix that with clean heroin? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So here you are at 14 months clean. And so I want our listeners to kind of understand, like, today, all of your problems, is it you or is it drugs?
Today, my problems.
Today, yeah.
Problems are mine.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where if we don't fix our people, and we don't fix our hearts, and we don't fix our spirit, and we don't fix our souls, there's never going to be a solution to this insanity that's going on down here. I saw 5 people shooting up on my way into the studio.
Oh, yeah. And take away the drugs from me, and then I worked on myself, and this is who I am today. I'm back 14 months clean, and yes, I've had some breaks and some people helped me along the way, but that's what it's about, right? And if you have some people that care for you and want to do something for you, you get rid of the drugs, and you can change your life for sure.
So there's many pathways to recovery: short-term, long-term, intensive outpatient, safe injection site. So you got your family and a business and all that kind of stuff. How important was it for you to take time out of your amazing busy life to get well?
How important?
Yeah.
It was huge. It was, my amazing life consisted of, in my hometown and with family there and stuff, but locked in a house and, doing nothing, accomplishing nothing. I was killing myself. I was literally going to die. And I remember, or my mom and dad and one brother were at my cake, and, it was quite emotional, but they were afraid for my life. I remember my brother standing over me and talking to me about, my nephew and niece want to see me grow up, and they don't want their uncle to die. I remember that, and I came to treatment after that, and yeah, today it's a good life, and I'm just glad I'm able to share my story, and if someone's listening and it helps them, it does work. Whatever angle, some people have better luck than others, but I know treatment works. I know take the drugs away from me and give me 14 months. I'm somewhat sane, and I'm somewhat happy, and life's good today.
Well, congratulations, Jeff. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
And thank you very much, Darren. We're going to go off to the next song.
If you ever have doubts, I mean, give yourself some time, clean, talking about, experiencing some of what life has to offer from Jeff's perspective, and then make a decision. Like I remember hearing it sometime. Hey, if it's not good, if your life isn't good or doesn't get good, and you don't feel hope and a sense of purpose, I mean, there's always going to be doubt. There's always going to be, right? So, I mean, how do we provide more opportunities for people to get that experience where this is how they want to live? And with that note, Tom Petty, we're going to miss you, buddy. You write some good tunes, especially this one, Free Fallin'.
No, it was on me, Giuseppe.
You say bye? Say bye.